things that when I was looking over your website, I saw that you were talking about this threats landscape that's getting tougher. That's getting. Tell me a bit more about why do you think it's getting tougher? Why is it a more difficult role now than it was?
Well, I mean, so if we talk about it, we're getting more complex. Technology's not getting less complex. It may be becoming more powerful, more empowering to the end user, but more and more, there's more layers than we've ever had. And if, okay, I've been in IT for a few years now, but you go back a decade or so, and it was very simple. We had client server models, we had websites and all this stuff. But now there are so many different layers of technologies in what gets delivered beyond server. But even at the application layer, you've got all these containers now, and containers can be in services and in the cloud and microservices and platform as a service. And then you bring in like proliferation of technology with IoT and pervasive technology. Our technical landscape is massive now. That's one complexity. The other complexity, and every one increases the attack surface slightly. And then the other thing is, that's gone on is that there is no way an IT practitioner can understand every single layer and work in every single layer. Yeah. Used to you could say, if you're going to develop an application, I need you to understand everything it runs on. But now you would never get anything done. So what happens is you've got these development environments that have abstracted a lot. There are these wizards that build apps. They put code in and it generates the rest. And that is a recipe for potential disaster. Let me just say, I don't want to be negative. It's a fantastic thing because it brings time to market, but our attack surface is massive as opposed to what it once was. And unlike other areas of business, say where you have a parallel competition against your greatest competitor, security, you have a head-to-head competition, a zero-sum game where you have an active adversary that's probing each of these layers to find which one's weak. And so that's the dynamic at a high level that's creating this change complexity in the threat landscape, I would say.
That's really interesting, yeah, because I think that probably ties in with quite a lot of what we've seen is that organizations are trying to find ways of figuring out where their biggest risk is and then working their way out from there, as opposed to perhaps old approaches, which is just put a moat around the castle.
Yes.
And I think the difficulty is that there is that this concept of the perimeter. I mean, we're going back a good number of years now, but I remember we're going back sort of 10 years. I worked for Sophos, and I remember even then we were talking about the fact that this perimeter was dissolving, and yet still hear people saying the same things now, and I'm like, we're there. Like the perimeter just doesn't exist. And yet I still find that too many organizations are trying to protect what matters the most by putting a great big firewall around it and thinking, well, that's done it. I think there's a lot of these legacy security solutions are failing because they're trying to protect the wrong things and they don't know where the problems are.
Yes. I mean, you're right. And even in those environments where you have a perimeter, let's face it, every one of your workstations, your users invite the bad guys in every day through a website or an email that goes right past all those defenses. So
right. Yeah, it makes sense.